Hey guys, Chris from MMORPG.com, and we're kicking off the hardware coverage on our YouTube channel with a killer Ryzen gaming build. With Destiny 2 just 2 short months away, the system we're going to build today will not only rock the frame rate, but it's going to allow you to do all of the game capture and streaming you could possibly want to. And at the end, we're giving away a Ryzen 1500X to one lucky viewer. You're not going to want to miss it. This build is brought to you by these generous sponsors. They donated parts to take our build to the next level and can do the same for you. Look them up at your favorite storefront and score. Ryzen! Ryzen is finally here, and the price to performance ratio really can't be beat. So in honor of Ryzen, we wanted to make sure we included this in our build today. We're really going to theme a lot after Ryzen with some of the color choices we use. We have an MSI X370 Gaming Pro Carbon. Now, we chose this board mainly because of the X370, and that's going to allow us to add a second video card. Now in today's build, we're only going to be using one, but being able to add another one is a great way to future-proof yourself. This also has 2 M2 slots, some really easy onboard overclocking software, and great memory support, which is important for Ryzen. When it comes to memory, we chose Patriot Viper 4. This is a 16 gigabyte 2x8 at 3200 megahertz. Now this is an important step because faster memory has a direct impact on Ryzen's ability to compute. So if you're playing games, the faster memory you can get to run on your board, the better. And we went with Patriot because they were one of the very first who actually came out with a list of compatible memory modules. To keep that cool, we have a Cooler Master Liquid 240 all-in-one cooler. It's a 240 millimeter radiator, so that's going to allow it to stay cooler longer before that liquid heats up also. Moving on to the core of a gaming machine, we have a Gigabyte GTX 1080 G1 gaming model. Now this is a really nice one. It is factory overclocked, has a lot of overclocking potential, and right now you can get it for under $600, and because we're not going to be pushing more than 1440p on this build, this is going to be a really good choice. When it comes to storage, Western Digital has us covered. We have, for our operating system, a WD Blue 2.5-inch SSD, 1 terabyte. For a gaming drive, we have our 512 gigabyte NVMe PCIe SSD. This is going to be really rapid. And for mass storage, for that video production, we honestly have a little bit of overkill here because we're going to be producing a lot of videos. You may not need that. So what we have, first, just for a little extra, we have this as a 1 terabyte WD Black. That's going to work very nice. But the big one here is our WD Gold 10 terabyte drive. We also have a handful of extra fans. These are all Cougars. We have orange and blue to kind of get some accent lighting in there, and some blue magnetic LED strips. The display on my left is an Acer Predator XB2. This is a esports monitor. It's a 1080p 240 hertz monitor. This thing will get rid of motion blur and give you that extra bit of clarity for when you're playing competitive shooters like Counter-Strike. Now over here, for other games where we don't need to worry about being quite as rapid and maybe we'll want a resolution boost, we have an alternative choice, which is the Viotek 32-inch curved 1440p, 144 hertz display. It's a lot of numbers, but this is just going to look excellent, and it's going to give us that nice curved, immersive gaming experience. It's really going to be something nice. You might want to choose one or the other. This is our build. We're going to use both. And rounding us out, we have the body of our beast. This is a Cougar Panzer S. This is tempered glass on both sides, has a nice mesh material in the front for extra breathability, and it's only $100. So when you get this thing open, you're going to see it's really kind of easy to work into, and it's really a great case for the money. So thank you to Cougar for sending this over. This is going to be exciting. With that out of the way, it's time to start building. We'll start by preparing our case, installing any extra fans, and tightening down the motherboard standoffs. Next, we install our Cougar GXS 750 watt power supply and run our cables out the back. After that, we install the processor. Line the triangle on the CPU up with the indicator on the motherboard, carefully insert, making sure not to force it into place, and lock the retention bar. Add a pea-sized amount of thermal paste, grab your AIO and make sure to remove any film from the transfer plate, and firmly press it into place, tightening down the thumb screws to secure. While it's in the open, go ahead and connect your fan and pump headers too. Now it's time to install the radiator. Remove the top panel from your case and line it up with the 240mm mounting holes. For looks, we're installing two 120mm Cougar red LED fans on the bottom and mounting the included Cooler Master fans on the top for a push-pull configuration for maximum cooling. Next, we install the motherboard. Do yourself a favor and connect the 8-pin power connector first to save a tight fit later. Tighten down your motherboard standoffs and insert your WD black. But remember to remove the film over the thermal pads before tightening the shield back into place. Insert your RAM, remembering to space them out accordingly, here in slots 1 and 3 to start. With that done, we can start plugging everything in. Feed your front panel connectors through the back and pull them through the power supply shroud. Connect them using your motherboard's manual for the smallest jumpers. Plug in your fans to the included headers, leaving at least 2 open for your radiator fans. Installing the hard drives is a breeze using the detachable panels and thumb screws. Remove the panels for both the 3.5-inch drives and one of the 2.5-inch SSDs. Screw the hard drives into place and return them to position using the thumb screws. Connect your power supply and SATA cables and run those through the opening closest to your SATA points and connect them sequentially. Our last component is our graphics card. Install by pressing it into place and connecting the 8-pin power connector before tightening down the retaining screw. Finally, we mount our blue LED strips and give it a nice blue and red aesthetic. Pull any excess slack in the wires into the back of the case, secure the cable ties for neatness, and tuck what you can back into the PSU shroud. Put the side panels back on, connect the peripherals, and you're ready to boot up. So we've come to it. The moment of truth. Will it turn on? I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. It's been a long time since I've built an AMD system, and there were a couple things behind the scenes that made me a little nervous in the build here. But we can only try. So let's see. Okay, we're powering up. We have our lights. That's a good sign. Ah! Yes! So it worked. We are in the system now. It appears that everything hooked up correctly. Everything's working fine. So at this point, we can get into the BIOS and start tweaking our settings, getting our memory profile enabled, so that way we can run at full capacity here and really just start to enjoy our system. So, let's do it. With booting secured, change your boot order to boot from USB in the BIOS, insert your Windows installation drive, and restart, following the prompts until you land on the desktop. Once there, load the driver disk that came with the motherboard to make sure everything functions properly. Then, it's time to enjoy your new PC. For peripherals, we really wanted to include premium components to match the rest of our build. For a keyboard and mouse, we have the ASUS Republic of Gamers Claymore Core and the matching Pugio ambidextrous mouse. They're both RGB enabled, supremely programmable, and both feel and look great. For high-end audio, we turned to blue with the Blue Yeti Blackout and matching Blue Lola high-fidelity headphones. The Blue Yeti is well known to be one of the best streaming mics available, and the Blue Lola headphones provide an absolutely stellar sound with a unique aesthetic, excellent accuracy, and superb noise isolation to keep you immersed in the game. Finally, we have our extra-large Cougar Arena mousepad that not only works great, but matches our theme with a little extra color on our desktop. It's paired with a Cougar Bunker mouse bungee to keep our cord up and out of the way. Well guys, the build is done, it looks nice, and it plays games even nicer, and it was a lot of fun to build. I can't wait to break this thing in. But now it's time for that giveaway. If you would like to win your own Ryzen 1500X courtesy of AMD, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below, and in 1 week, we'll choose a winner and get in touch to let you know how you're going to get this thing. Until then guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you give a thumbs up if you liked it, and visit us over at MMORPG.com. Until next time.